Hi everyone, Mike here. So as you know, I spend a lot of time next to the river watching beavers, and in my time along the river, it's very often that the Prairie Lily Riverboat goes sailing by as I'm watching beavers. Given how often the Prairie Lily goes by while I'm watching beavers, I have to assume that if you were on the boat and wanted to watch for beavers, it's a great place to spot them. On this day, the beaver put on a show for some of the passengers before they even left the dock. This beaver got out. There's a scent mound that the beavers regularly mark right next to the Prairie Lily dock, and this little fellow walked out on 2 feet just as the boat was pulling up, and lots of the spectators on the top level got a great view of this beaver going about his business. On that day, the little beaver actually swam off into the horizon at the same time that the boat did, so I ended up following both of them upstream. I actually have a lot of photos and videos of the Prairie Lily going by the beavers. The Prairie Lily is just so beautiful and majestic as it floats down the South Saskatchewan River that it adds a really great visual element to my photos and videos. And up on the hill there, you can also see the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital, which also is in quite a few of my photos. And of course, Saskatoon is the city of bridges, so I always like to get a bridge into my photos and videos if possible. I assume if you love bridges, the Prairie Lily would give you a great view of lots of our bridges and help you appreciate why we're the city of bridges. This little clip is a great example of what a beautiful visual element the Prairie Lily adds to my beaver photos. As you saw there, the white reflection of the Prairie Lily on the bright blue water went right over top of where the beaver was sitting. Here again, just a great shot. I love the Jim Pattison up on the hill there with the Prairie Lily. And of course, right below me is a beaver. That's why I'm sitting by the riverbank after all. This is a beautiful little clip as well. It's the Prairie Lily as it goes under the University Bridge, and along came a stand-up paddleboarder, not wearing a life jacket, a few people have noticed. It's funny, that video clip I submitted to the Weather Network, and they replayed that little section of the Prairie Lily and the stand-up paddleboarder many times. And you guessed it, I'm not just filming the boat here, but right beside where I'm standing, there was a beaver that had crawled up the steep riverbank to get a few tree saplings, and just as the Prairie Lily went out of my view, I caught the beaver out of my peripheral vision and got this great little clip as he crawled back down to get into the river. I can't recall if this is the same day or another one, but later I got the Prairie Lily coming back under the University Bridge. As I say, I'm often sitting along the river watching beavers, and this day I was happily watching two of them have their supper. So, if you're ever on the riverboat and you see a bald guy with a big smile on his face sitting on the rocks next to a beaver, that's gonna be me in all likelihood. Here again, there's a couple of beavers playing around by the rocks as the majestic riverboat is rolling by. In any event, I wanted to put some of these clips together just because I had quite a lot of them. As I say, I really enjoy watching the Prairie Lily go by as I'm filming the beavers. If you like beavers and you like sightseeing, I think the Prairie Lily Riverboat is sort of a Saskatoon icon and is on the must-do list for visitors to Saskatoon. In the summertime, the beavers are usually out in the evening, so if you're on one of the evening cruises, keep your eyes peeled. You always have a good chance of spotting a beaver. Hope you enjoyed this video. Cheers.